Hello and welcome to your March 2026 Greater Chattanooga real estate update. I'm excited to share some information with you today. First thing I want to remind you to do is to like and subscribe to our video. This helps with the awareness, and one of the reasons that we do it each month is to keep you informed about what is going on, not just nationally, but on a local level, and how it may affect your home and what's going on there. So the second thing that I want to tell you is, if you are not a part of our VIP Facebook group for the Gibson Home Team, please reach out. I want to make sure I get you in there. That's where all of the updates about our events and the things that we are doing throughout the year to give back to the great community that helps us. That's where you're going to see all that stuff. So be sure to join that group and be a part of our community. Now, before we jump into the county breakdown this month, I want to touch briefly on interest rates because they play a big role in what happens in the housing market. And right now, the average 30-year mortgage is sitting at 6.07%, which is actually slightly down from last month. Now, we did dip down below that 6 points at some point in the month, but as they do, and with things happening in the market, interest rates have changed a little bit. But even those small movements in rate, I've noticed, have helped buyers come off the fence. And that is typically, when the housing market actually starts to slow down a little bit, when you do see the housing markets to slow down, that demand doesn't actually disappear, it just builds up. So even in those periods of time where the market isn't necessarily moving super fast, it doesn't mean things are slowing down. It just means things are starting to build up. This is your Hamilton County March 2026 update. Overall, the Hamilton County market saw really a strong jump in sales activity, and prices remained very stable. So the median sales price in February was $382, very similar to what we saw in January, and just very, very slightly different than what we saw February of last year. Average days on market, they have changed a little bit, going from 72. In January, we saw 62. And then 53 days was what we saw in February of 2025. So what that shows us is that buyers are taking a little bit more time to make a decision, and I'm seeing that pretty much throughout, in Hamilton County. The big story, however, in Hamilton County is the actual sales activity. There were 381 homes sold in February, which is a big jump from 264 that we saw in January. So that spring market is really starting to kick off in Hamilton County. This is your Dade County March 2026 update. And in Dade County, we really saw a strong rebound in pricing from January. Although those overall sales volume, it remains lower compared to what we saw last year. Median sales price was $292,500, which is up a lot. I think we were at $232, somewhere around there in January. But we're still a little bit below where we were last year as far as median sales price. Remember, smaller market, more volatile in the numbers, so that's pretty normal to see. But we are up, which is a great sign. The average days on market, 68, which is slightly better than the 73 that we saw in January, but still, 51 days was what we were looking at last year in February. So as you can tell, same story here as we are seeing in a lot of markets, which is buyers are taking a little bit more time to make their decision. Sales activity was lower overall. 6 homes sold in February. There was 8 in January. And then last February, we were at 13. So overall sales volume there, definitely a little bit lower. This is your Walker County March 2026 update. And Walker County continues to show strong pricing, steady sales activity, and homes are actually selling faster than last year. So this is all great news for our Walker County market. Median sales price $266, slightly down from the $270 we saw in January, but we're still significantly up from last year, which was in the $232 mark, somewhere around there. Average days on market 71. January was 79. And then February of last year, we were at 77. So selling faster, selling for more money. And then, the sales activity also increased as well. So there were 58 homes sold in February compared to 48 in January. And then there were 56 last year around this time. So overall, your Walker County update is things are happening. They're happening quick and for more money. So if you're in Walker County, this is great news. This is your Catoosa County update, March 2026. And in Catoosa County, we saw price increase this month. Although homes are taking a little bit longer to sell and overall sales volume is lower compared to what we saw last year. So let me tell you what I mean by that. Median sales price in February was $295,750, up from $279 in January, and slightly higher than last year where we were also in the $278 range. Average days on market, 83 days. In January, we were at 55. And we were also at 60 last year. So taking a little bit longer to sell those homes. And then there were 44 homes sold in February, which is about the same as what we saw in January. And then February of last year, we saw about 66 home sales. So as you can tell, things are also taking a little bit longer to sell there. And it's just interesting to see what happens year over year and how those markets start to trend. Now, spring is coming, so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in Catoosa County. The big takeaway across all of this is that real estate continues to be very local. Some markets are seeing stronger activity than others, and those conditions may actually vary a little bit just between the neighboring counties. If you ever want more specific information about your neighborhood, your home value, or what's happening in your price range, I'm always happy to help. I'm here to be a resource for you guys, and that's why we do these videos, so that you have a go-to person when it comes to specifics in your area. And if you know someone who's thinking about buying or selling, I'd be incredibly grateful for, the introduction. Most of the people that I get to work with come from referrals, and that trust really means a lot to me. So we can't thank you enough for always thinking about us. Thanks for taking a few minutes to watch my video. Hope it was helpful, and I'll see you in next month's video. Take care.